Welcome to Listen in 3D. This is episode number 41. I'm your boy Justin, aka Too Tall for You Fool.
And I'm Netta, aka Wondrousnet.
And together we are both Team 3D, the host of Listen in 3D, where we discuss, dissect, and debate the music and albums in the world of hip hop and other genres. If you like this content, if you like our faces, if you like us every week, like, comment, and subscribe. Share this around. Comment on our videos. Definitely get us in that YouTube algorithm. That way we are more discoverable. And if you want to help us out one step further, click on that notification bell. That way you know when all our videos are live. That also will include shorts, which we have plenty of. So definitely help us out there in terms of just the discoverability. And just a quick reminder, you can podcast the show as we are on all major streaming platforms for podcasts and all that stuff. So want to podcast the show? Just type it in. There you go. Links to all that will be in the description and our main YouTube page. So anyway, we listened to this album. What were your thoughts? One word to describe this album. What would you describe it as?
Mm, I think I would have to use two, but I would say it's an acquired taste.
Acquired taste. It's a different taste. I don't think we've done such an album like this on this show before. I mean, I'll be honest with you. But it's definitely an acquired taste, and there's more of it, and we got more albums like this coming. So let's get into it. What are we talking about today?
So today we'll be talking about De La Soul's 3 Feet High and Rising. It was released February 6, 1989. It was their debut studio album. It went platinum. It peaked at number one on the R&B and hip hop album charts and number 15 on the Billboard Top 200. It had singles including Plug Tuning, Potholes in My Lawn, Buddy, Me, Myself, and I, Say No Go, I Know, The Magic Number, and Tread Water. And there were music videos for Potholes in My Lawn, Buddy, Me, Myself, and I, Say No Go, I Know, and The Magic Number. And there were guest appearances from Jungle Brothers and Q Tip.
All right, thank you for that. So where do I start? This is gonna be all right. So De La Soul. Um, we know them, definitely the trio, which consists of the following members: uh, True Joy, the Dove, Maceo, I think I said his name right, and Posse Duno Nasi Pas Dunas. I think that's how you say it. Kelvin Mercer's his real name, but um, so those are the three members. Unfortunately, True Joy, the Dove, is no longer with us. So may him rest in peace. And it's unfortunate because he died like a month before their music was finally available on streaming services. So let me explain. Um, when they put out their original records back in late '80s, early '90s, and throughout, I guess there was a contract signed that they had to that these records were for strictly physical distribution. Now I'm going to say this again: physical distribution, which gets me to thinking like a record like this. um, yeah, yeah, physical. Like someone in the late '80s may have known that we were going to go digital soon rather than later. I don't know, but yeah. So physical distribution of all these records. So when the online craze hit, getting your music digitally and all that stuff. There a lot of their first six albums for the most part were nowhere to be seen. That's specifically the stuff that they did with Tommy Boy. So um, if I'm going through my notes right now, just they had like a lot of samples that needed clearance. So I know that was just some of the reason. And then I know Tommy Boy was sold to Warner Brothers during some time period. And then in 2019, Tommy Boy got it back. But I know like with all the sample clearances from these albums, they weren't able to be released. I know there was a time where they had released them for a little while, but for the most part, they weren't able to do it until Last year in 2023, I believe March of 2023, um, yeah, March 2nd to be exact, which, yeah, so they were able to get their music all on, streaming platforms, which was a big win. And you notice how you said that peaked at number 15 on the top 200 Billboard charts. That was from last year, actually.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah. So I mean, yeah. That's how people would miss them. Definitely. It was a celebration when they got on streaming services. Unfortunately, it happened a month after the passing of True Joy the Dove. So, man, rest in peace. Definitely he was looked at as the bigger brother of this trio, and definitely they made some good music over the years, and this album. I mean, to today, you can pick it up in record stores. I mean, their first album definitely is their best album, and in my opinion, based on what I've read reviews and listens through some of their other albums, and of course certifications as well. I believe this is their only album that did go platinum. So, any thoughts on De La Soul? What were you thinking going into this album?
Um, I think I might have heard the name before, but I've never heard of them, and I never heard any song on this album before listening to it for the podcast.
Okay, all right, so well that's fair. So, so me and De La Soul, yeah, for the most part, I would have to say the single "Me, Myself, and I" got my attention. I also heard the different version of Buddy, which we'll get into a little later on, and then you know I know very good songs. I mean, just a bunch of singles from this album I've heard, and then I would have to say though, by the time like they were still making music when I was in high school. And maybe I mean they were still pretty popular for the most part, but definitely the style of music they were making, I think, had kind of gone in another direction. I don't think it was the most popular thing during that time, which would be for me about 2000. They had that single "Ooh," which was with Redman, which was off their fifth album, I want to say, which is an official intelligence Mosaic Thumb. I believe that's Thumb. Yeah, I believe that's what it's called. Which had the single "Ooh," which featured Redman. That was really the first for not the first time I'd heard him, but like first time I heard him in like a relevant state when I was like listening to hip hop. So it's a good song. Check it out if you guys get a chance. It brought back nostalgic memories for me. I'll probably check it out a little later. But that song wasn't on this album, so for the most part, with De La Soul, I mean, they were part of a hip hop movement at the time, which was known as Native Tongues. They were pretty much the core members of that Native Tongues with posse, which also included the Jungle Brothers, Moni Love, Queen Latifah, Black Sheep, Chi Ali, and a group we're going to be doing in a few weeks, actually, a tribe called Quest. So, and one of the members from that group, Q-Tip, is actually on the album, as you said earlier, along with the Jungle Brothers. So, like I said, we got more albums like this coming, and the naming Native Tongues comes from a line in an African song in a song called "African Cry" by Motown offshoot funk group The New Birth, which features the lyric "Took away our native tongue." So, I thought that was pretty interesting. All right, so enough with the talk of the native tongues and their background, all that stuff. If I miss anything, feel free to call me out, people. All right, so let's get into the album artwork. What were your thoughts when you saw it?
I guess it's interesting that you say they were like associated with Moni Love because when I saw it, it reminded me of a album my mom used to have by Moni Love. It was also like had a yellow background with like flowers on it, just like that. But I thought this album cover was very different. It's like you got the one of the guys is upside down, and you,
Mm.
you don't really see a lot of hip hop albums with flowers on them.
Oh yeah.
So I thought it was. I like it. It's very simple, but it's nice. It's unique.
I was reading somewhere that it's the equivalent of the Beatles album. What is it, Sergeant Pepper? I think that's the name of it. Yeah, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club, a band. Yeah, it kind of reminded someone of that when I was reading about it. But for the most part, definitely has like that more like, I wouldn't even say '80s feel, like more like late '60s, like with the yellow. Definitely like the peace sign, like the whole like hippie movement going on during that time. Not saying that they're hip hop hippies or anything like that, but definitely, they also they come in like peace loving. I mean, hip hop, had always been depicted. Well, not maybe not always. It always been like depicted as like hard, I guess. I mean, they definitely didn't come like with like the hard stuff that I was used to. So definitely change the pace for me. And definitely you knew you weren't going to get like anyone like killed on this record or anything like that. So I think I found it more like peace loving, if that makes sense. I mean, yeah, I don't think it's any like unlike any other album cover we've done. And personally, I mean that's my thinking.
Yeah, I too thought it's rather uplifting. They're not really into being negative at all.
Hmm.
So it was a very good vibes on the album.
Yeah, yeah, definitely a lot of good vibes, a lot of good themes too that which we'll discuss. Let's get into beats though. What were your favorite beat, or what was your favorite beat or favorite beats?
I liked a lot of the beats on here, but I really liked "Say No Go."
Oh, Say No Go. That's a pretty good beat. That would probably be a runner up for me. I like the beat. Which one was it? Plug Tuning. I thought that was a pretty nice beat. And then, of course, I'm a G Funk fan, so I'd be doing myself a disservice if I didn't say Me, Myself, and I. That Parliament sample they did. That just never gets old. In terms of a beat like that. So, but I mean, with the beats in general, they really did use like a lot of samples, and I could see why. Like, yeah, they probably were. Prince Paul, who produced the album, he probably experimented a lot, like with the sound and stuff, and it's just like late '80s, and we talked about it with the Beastie Boys as well. Gray area when it came to sampling, it really was.
Yeah. They in that interview you sent me, they were talking about how during the re-release they were listening to it and going over the samples, and they wanted to add even more samples to some
Yeah.
of these songs, and they had to like hold themselves back from doing it. And they also discussed how they thought about making some video where they're going in the time machine and telling themselves in the 80s like don't put all those samples on there, but it's really awesome. Like this and that what it takes a nation of millions to hold us back.
Yeah.
When they're experimenting with so many samples, it just really makes me just think about what the alternate universe looks like when the people are just allowed to be free and allowed to use whatever they wanted to without having to pay so much money. I think it would have been great. And this album is kind of like a little tiny look into that world.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's just, I mean, sampling, it is a gray area. And I guess, with Reed and, the stuff that goes on within the music business, it's just people want more and more and more now. And if you try to use like a sample, and yeah, even to this day, like, just it's just
Yeah.
ridiculous. So, I mean, I think it's kind of
And
taking the
sometimes
fun out of it a bit. What were you saying?
yeah, and sometimes there's songs that they don't even like directly really sound like the other song. I think there was a with Robin Thicke. There was a thing with Robin Thicke, and I could barely even hear what he was being sued about, like the similarity into it. But it can be a very subtle copy, and you're still getting sued.
Yeah.
I think that really
Oh, yeah.
like
I think I know
hinders the artistic spirit. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about with Robin Thicke. I forget exactly like the details, but yeah, even if it sounds like it, like it's just ridiculous. Like estates, people will come after you. And it's just I think it's just really more a
Yeah.
greed thing at this point. But yeah, but overall, definitely a great produced album, especially for 1989. So they
Yeah.
definitely did do some experimenting and do some stuff that had never been done before when it came to beats and sampling. But like they said, I mean, if they can go back in time, they probably would not have used that so many samples. I'm just
Yeah.
being real. Yeah. All right. So for album singles, it had a lot of singles. So we're just going to discuss the top three, which was the Magic Number, um, I Know, and the last one was Me, Myself, and I. So we're going to discuss those three. So which one would you like to start with first, Netta?
We can start with the Magic Number. This is the first one on the album.
All right, Matt, the Magic Number. What were your thoughts on this song?
Um, I thought like this is why I said it was an acquired taste because when I very first this was the first song I heard and I was like, well, this is gonna be a long listen. But by the end by the end of the album, I was like, I really like these guys. This is really cool. But it wasn't my favorite song to be honest. I did like when they said focus is formed by the flaunt of the soul. I really like that. I thought that
Mhm.
was poetic and they said they're saying their music can substitute for like a illegal substance. Set aside a legal substance to feed them. For now, get them high off this dialect drug. I
Mhm.
really like that.
Yeah, well, for me, I mean, it wasn't really my favorite single either. I know it's a pretty catchy song among a lot of people, so it's like if you play it, especially in front of like a whole crowd, a lot of people, just will be going to it, especially if they grew up with De La Soul. But for me, I really like the chorus. Let's see, three is the magic number. Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, was born three, Mace Dove and me. So definitely, I thought that was pretty cool. Like how they to just say, hey, three is the magic number. The three of them. So I thought that was like poetic within itself. But in terms of
right.
that, nothing lyrically going on for me here. All right, let's go to I Know. Now I know this is probably one of the best songs on this album, but I know I love you better. That definitely it had a pretty catchy beat too, and then just lyrically, I thought it was pretty cool. When Dove, may I cut this dance to introduce myself as the chosen one to speak. Let me lay my hand across yours and aim a kiss upon your cheek. So yeah, so I do like I really like a Dove's like rapping style in this video, like how he just goes like with the beat, pretty poetic and all that good stuff. Um, anything going on for you lyrically, or did you like this song in particular also, or
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I liked when they said we can ascend till we reach daylight heaven, and I
hmm
like when they kind of called back to the magic number, and they
oh
kind of
yeah,
switched the magic number to two in the
oh
context
yeah,
of love.
yeah, this time the magic
Yeah,
number is two because it takes two, not three, to seduce. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, I thought that was a pretty good song. Also, oh yeah, thoughts
Mhm.
on those on the videos actually. For the Magic Number, I didn't think too much was going on. I thought this video was a little unique, like with them just like around and all that stuff. I thought videos were all right for the most part. Any thoughts on video for this song or the previous one we talked about?
yeah. The magic number seemed kind of all over the place. They had like
Yeah,
dancing silhouettes, and they had somebody doing graffiti. It was very like colorful though. It
yeah.
was kind of cool, but it's a lot going on. I liked the I Know
hmm
video
that was a good
because
one.
it's yeah, it almost looks like the album cover. It's like
Uh,
the theme of the album, and it was like
yeah.
a pretty music
Yeah,
video,
yeah,
just like
yeah. I
the
know.
album
Really
cover.
reminded me of the album cover, and I think that kind of paints the whole theme of the album. And then final single we'll discuss. Me, myself, and I. Um, Did you like this one?
Yeah, this was my favorite single.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, for me,
Um,
yeah, this one definitely uses that Parliament beat, and just I like how with the four verses, mirror, mirror on the wall, tell me, mirror, what is wrong? Can it be my de la clothes or is it just my de la soul? Yeah, I mean, yeah, the dub was pretty good, and then just music video too with them in that classroom, I thought was hilarious. I think of all the music videos, even though I know was a really good one too. I would have to say this is probably my favorite, definitely the funniest one too. And as you get to see like some more of their humor actually too, in my opinion.
yeah, I liked when he said he was gonna calmly punch someone on the 4th of July. And I like what he said. People think they diss my person by stating I'm darkly packed.
Oh
I
yeah,
know this, so I point at Q-Tip and he states black is black.
oh yeah,
I liked when in the video when they're kind of drawing a distinction between themselves and the other people because everybody else is wearing this huge gold chains
yeah.
and Kango hats and they're just in some like just
Normal
some more
clothes. Yeah,
normal clothing. And
yeah,
I thought it was funny because I also I think in the interview you sent me, if not another interview, they said that they thought Run DMC were like superstars and they were very
yeah.
inspired by them, but they just felt like we're not gonna be wearing everything they're wearing. We're still gonna be ourselves. So I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think they really were one of the first hip hop groups that really just brought themselves into the game. They didn't try to, go with the gold chains or anything like that. Well, I think gold chains were kind of coming out of style during that time. But definitely you could totally tell that they really weren't big on like fashion sense. Like they weren't like with like the whole Adidas suits or anything like that. So, so I thought that was pretty cool. But I mean, very very good song, and that definitely a good one. Highly recommend y'all check it out if you guys do check out this album, or if you have checked out this album, let us know what your favorite single is. And they do have a lot of them. All right. So now we get to our favorite part of the episode, our favorite tracks. Which ones are you going with?
So, Me, Myself, and I was one of my favorites, and my other two favorites are Say No Go and Tread Water. I really love Tread Water.
Okay. The other, Me, Myself, and I was my favorite song. The other song I'm going with was, well, I Know. That's just another song just for me to kind of overlook. Last song I'm gonna go with, it's another single. I really liked it. Plug Tuning. I thought that was a really good song. Had a couple honorable mentions also. I want to shout out Potholes in My Lawn. I thought that was a really good song, and this is a live recording. And Buddy was also honorable mention. May have been my favorite song. Had the video we seen was that version because I definitely heard that song growing up. It was a good song. I'll just say this real quick about Buddy. Just perfect example of, hey, this is a single, but if you get the album, you're gonna get a different version. Kind of like the whole Biggie and One More Chance situation. So that's all. I couldn't make Buddy. I mean, it's a good song. Don't get me wrong, but I could. It's not honorable mention, but not one of my favorites. All right, so
As an honorable mention, I would also say "Potholes in My Lawn,"
yeah.
just because it was the first hip hop song played on Mars, and it's like you
Oh,
would have thought it would have been the song literally titled "Transmitting Live from Mars,"
uh-huh.
but but it's "Potholes in My Lawn," so
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool.
yeah. My Potholes in My Lawn is a pretty good song. That that
Yeah.
that uh that yodeling sample that they use just kind of grows on you after a while. All
Yeah.
right, enough with that. Let's get into your favorite. So you like Treadwater. What'd you like about that one?
I love Treadwater. He's like just moving through the world and talking to all these animals and trying to. They're giving him information about how to remain positive, or he's giving like in the squirrel's case, he's telling the squirrel like, calm down, always look to the positive, and never drop your head. For the water will engulf us if you did not dare to tread. So let's tread water. And then he's in the bathtub and he meets a fish. And the fish is like, see, I look past all my worries, which is something you must do. Though you're fed up, throw your head up with this advice from me to you and tread water. And then he meets a monkey who he helps reach some bananas, and the monkey tells him to live by the inner sound, which would help him in showbiz, then use them, not abuse them, and remember the words that got me to him. And that is to tread water. So I really liked it. It's like kind of like a song about the philosophy
Yeah.
of life. Even though the world might be falling around you, and things might be going wrong, just remember to tread water. So I really love that song.
Yeah, I listened to a song like Tread Water. I mean, I couldn't find any music video for it. I don't think there was a music video for it, but it's like you listen to the lyrics, it's just like you can imagine it being like a cartoon show or something like that. Like, it's me,
Yeah.
said Mr. Squirrel. I searched for you all over. Now you're found. No time to waste. We must find the preacher man. So I thought that was kind of, talking to Mr. Fish. It's like something you would like see like on a cartoon show, in my opinion. I thought it was a very
Yeah.
interesting song. And then your other one, Say No Go. What'd you like about this one?
Um, I'm not sure, but I like how the sample is like down, down, down. I think that's "Get Up Off of That Thing." That's what it made me think of
Yeah.
anyway. But I like the how he starts it off. He says, "A baby is brought into a world of pits, and if it could have talked that soon in the delivery room, it would have asked the nurse for a hit because the mom is a junkie." I also like my very favorite, probably my favorite line on the whole album. He says, he's talking about what would lead somebody to get hooked on drugs and what would even lead somebody to kill for it. And he says, is it a chant that slant the soul to
Mm.
feel for it? I know it's the border that flaunts the order to kill for it. So I really love that.
Yeah, it's a pretty good song. I mean, the sample was pretty good, but with that guitar riff, dun, 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 dun. I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, I should probably find out where that sample is from. I know it's sampled. Let's see, going through here, samples from No Go. It's a lot of samples too. Yeah, I see why. Hall and Oates. I can't go for that. No Can Do. Sly Stone crossword puzzle. The Detroit Emeralds. Baby, let me take you in my arms. The Emotions. Best of my love. The Funky 4+1. That's the joint. The Turtles. I'm Chief Kama One. I can't even pronounce that, but it's the Turtles. And then Walter Schumann, which was the Dragnet theme music. If you guys are familiar with that old series, Dragnet. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so you watched a lot of Nick at Night growing up, so that's all I know that. So
Yeah, they were like kids in a candy store with these beats. Like they
yeah,
were just getting anything. It's really good.
yeah, definitely. And so for me, I know we already talked about two of my favorite songs, being the singles. The last one, Plug Tuning. I thought this was a pretty clever song. I like the beat. I think the beat kind of goes hard, like maybe like pre-mob music beat. I mean, it's kind of like unlike no other song on the album. I think that's what really attracted me to the song. I like how May starts it off. I was like, yo, pause and Dove, staying clear to be plugged up into a line 1 and 2 so y'all can flaunt the new style of speak. And then, Pasa, he starts answering any other service, prerogative, praise, positively, I'm acquitted. Enemies publicly shame my utility. After the battle, they admit I'm with it. So, I thought he started a song off pretty good. Otherwise, just definitely just a nice dun 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 like beat to like kind of go along to, and maybe you can even like freestyle to it. But that's what really attracted me to the song. Did you like plug tuning or not? One of your favorites?
I liked the sound of it,
Uh,
but I regret to say I didn't really get the song, and I
mm,
was like, oh no, because the one of the title in parentheses of the song is like "Last Chance to Comprehend," and I'm like, oh fuck, I don't get it, but I like the sound.
Definitely a great sound. But I mean, I think that's what really attracted me to it. But like I said, I mean, otherwise, Buddy would have been up there too. But like I said, with the whole, hey, here's this, but then you get this. But if you do want to listen to the music video version of Buddy, it is on at least Spotify. From I think you got to type in like native tongues. Lot of features on that song too, from Jungle Brothers and Q-Tip, and even on the version I like, Moni Love is on that one too. So definitely check that one out. All right. So for album cuts and expansions, so they came out with a 35th year anniversary edition of the song of the song album, excuse me. And for the most part, it does have more tracks on here for the most part. If I can pull up my track list, um, let's go to discography. Yeah, so they have five more songs. Freedom of Speak, Jennifer Taught Me, the 12-inch version, Ain't Hip to Be Labeled a Hippie, What's More, Plug Tune In the Home Demo, and Freedom of Speak. I have not had a chance to listen to these, but 35th anniversary edition of this. If you want to listen to some more De La Soul and this album, definitely check it out. Any thoughts on that? Or did you get a chance to listen to the expanded version?
I didn't know.
All right. We're busy people, so for the most part, if we have time to listen to expanded versions of albums, we will. But I mean, for the most part, if we can't, we'll just tell you about them and you can go listen. I mean, some I've listened to over the past episodes we've done. Some I haven't. So, all right. So recommendations. So going back to the whole native tongues movement I was talking to you all about earlier. The recommendations are going to come from them. So we'll start off with A Tribe Called Quest, People's Instinct Travels, and the Path of Rhythm. I know we are doing Tribe Called Quest in a few weeks. This is not the album we're going to be reviewing, but I just wanted to get something a little closer to that time frame. So that one. Jungle Brothers, Done by the Forces of Nature. That was their second album, I believe. And then Queen Latifah's debut album, All Hail the Queen. That was a very popular album. We will do Queen Latifah one of these days. Not sure what album we'll do, but I mean, definitely she is on the list for us to review. All right, so with all that out of the way, final thoughts on this album. Are you taking any of these songs back to your playlist, or are you going to recommend it to your peers?
I would 100% take Tread Water back. Really, really love that song. I thought it was a very interesting group, very unique bunch with a positive message, and not just positive, for themselves, but positive for the people listening. And they encourage people to listen to the inner what is it, the inner sound. I
Yeah.
thought that was really nice. So I'm glad I gave it a listen, and I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I'd recommend this album too, for the most part. Songs I'll be taking back. I mean, me, myself, and I have heard millions of times. It's on one of my playlists somewhere. And same thing with I Know. But I mean, the Magic Number, probably not my favorite, but I'll take it back, just for kicks. Say No and Go, Potholes on My Lawn. I'll give Tread Water, a shot too, since you're really big on that song. I'll give it definitely another listen. Plug, tune in. This is a recording, and definitely the other version of Buddy. But so those are songs I'll be taking back. I would recommend definitely a different sound on late '80s, early '90s hip hop. They're proof that not everything had to be hard coming out, and just had definitely a unique impact on the sound during that time. So definitely give De La Soul a listen, folks, and I definitely would recommend it. Just especially for you hip hop historians out there. All right. With that being said, for Netta, aka Wondrous Net, I'm Justin. To talk for you fools, saying Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I will see you on the next one. Later.